Hi, in this tutorial, we are going to use the post process to create a freezing effect. First of all, create a material to apply to the particles. Set the following material domain as post-process to make the post-process usable. Next, create a scene texture node and set it to post-process input 0 so that you can set the background to be used for post-processing. Next, hold down the T key and click to create a texture sample. Then, select the Perlin noise texture provided by Start Content. This is the texture which will have a freezing effect later. Now create a Radial Gradient node to receive the circular shape values. After that, hold down the S key and click to create a parameter and connect it to the radius and density. Thereby, you can set the value with Blueprint in the future. Next, create a 1- node so that it can represent the outside of the circular shape. Next, hold down the M key and click to create a multiply node, linking it with the texture already made so that the texture can appear at the edge of the screen. Next, hold down the L key and click to create a lerp node. Then, connect the previously created multiply node to alpha. Since scene texture is basically float 4 format, set RGB as true with component mask node. And then, change the scene texture into float 3 for making it possible to connect with the lerp node. Finally, after creating a constant 3 vector with holding down the number 3, convert it as a parameter. And then, connect it to the lerp node for users to apply any color they want. When finished, save it and exit to the content browser. Next, let's apply the post process. Click on Character in the World Outliner and click on Edit the Blueprint and Type to open the Blueprint window. First, we will initialize the post process. Create a begin play event to be running when we start up at first. Next, create a Create Dynamic Material instance, then set up the previously created material to make it a dynamic material so you can make changes during play. Next, it is promoted to a variable so that it can be loaded and changed at any time. Next, create and connect the Make Weight Blendable node, set the weight to 1, and create an array as shown in the video to create the weight of the post process for the material. This allows you to show or hide the post process by adjusting the weight value to 0 to 1. Next, turn off Context Sensitive and create a Set Members in Post-Process Settings node to activate and connect the post-process material pin of rendering features to set up the material in the post-process. After that, drag and drop the character's follow camera to bring it to the blueprint and connect it to the post-process setting to set the post-process to be visible to the character's camera. Now, if you connect as shown in the video, the initialization process is completed. Next, let's create an animation of the post process. Create a custom event node to create an event that the user wants. Next, create a timeline node to change over time and then double-click it to open a window. Click Add Float Track to create a track, then create a key with the right mouse button as shown in the video to set the time and value. Now you can change the value over a set time. Next, take the dynamic material instance variable created previously and create a set scalar parameter value and connect it. With this node, you can create a natural animation effect by gradually changing the density value of the material. It is applied only when the correct parameter name of the material is written in the parameter name. If you connect it as shown on the video, the custom event is completed. Finally, call the node and connect it to run the custom event we just created. Compile and save. Then, exit to the content browser. Now when you play, you can see the post process is applied.